At 85, Ringo Starr finally confessed what the world had long suspected, but never heard him say so directly. The man who built his public image on peace signs and an eternal thumbs up sat down for an interview that would change everything. With trembling emotion, the former Beatles drummer confirmed that Barbara Bach is the sole true love of his life, the woman who pulled him back from the edge of oblivion. Without Barbara, he admitted, I would have died decades ago, just like so many other rock stars. This confession, decades in the making, is a result of a miraculous rebirth journey spanning nearly 40 years, a story of self-destruction, violence, and ultimately redemption that few fans ever fully understood. Ringo Starr's current piece becomes even more special when viewed against the tragic context of the other Beatles. John Lennon was murdered in 1980. George Harrison died of cancer in 2001, standing as one of the final two surviving members alongside Paul McCartney. The veteran drummer could not hide moments of deep reflection on the true value of life. Choking back tears, he confided, My greatest asset now is not the prestigious gold records of the Beatles, but the wonderful wife standing right beside me at this moment. Barbara Bach also completely gave up her peak acting career to establish a charitable foundation with her husband, focusing on fighting addiction. This work has taken on new relevance in 2025, as the music industry continues to reckon with substance abuse tragedies, most recently the devastating loss of Liam Payne, whose struggles echoed the very demons Ringo and Barbara overcame decades ago. But to understand why this tribute was so hard-won, we must travel back to where the darkness began. World music history records 1962 as a life-altering milestone for Richard Starkey when he officially joined the Beatles. This was also the moment the drummer met Mary Maureen Cox at the Cavern Club in Liverpool. At that time, Maureen was merely a 16-year-old teenager training to be a hairdresser, completely estranged from the glamour of the entertainment industry. Their early romance blossomed rapidly within the cramped, smoke-filled space of that underground club. Alongside the band's meteoric rise, pressure from fans began to weigh heavily on the relationship. In February 1965, the couple rushed to hold a secret wedding at the Caxton Hall Register office because Maureen was already pregnant with their first child. Manager Brian Epstein demanded that the couple keep their marriage confidential to protect the single image of the members in the eyes of the public. Behind the velvet curtain of pinnacle fame, their family life soon witnessed deep cracks caused by psychological pressure. According to a rare published interview, Maureen revealed that Ringo suffered from a severe inferiority complex. The rapid onset of fame, coupled with the massive shadow of John Lennon and Paul McCartney, eroded the drummer's self-confidence. A terrifying fear of abandonment constantly haunted him, driving him to develop a strictly controlling attitude toward his wife. Maureen shared, Ringo always demanded that I hold him tight and reaffirm my love for him every night. This emotional instability pushed the marriage into a severe, unsalvageable crisis. Things worsened when the legendary band collapsed in 1970. The official disbandment of the Beatles dealt a devastating blow to Ringo's already fragile psyche. Deprived of his support system, the musician began a downward spiral. He turned to heavy stimulants and drowned himself in excessive drinking as a means to escape harsh reality. Maureen grew increasingly helpless against her husband's downfall. The rifts stemming from alcohol and Ringo's inferiority complex were merely the backdrop for a far greater tragedy. As the marriage fractured, Maureen proactively sought emotional solace from George Harrison, the legendary guitarist and a longtime close friend of the Starkey family. This secret relationship took place right after the band disbanded, when all members faced major personal crises. The matter quickly escalated when George Harrison decided to openly declare his feelings bluntly right in front of his close friend at a family dinner party. According to the memoir Miss O'Dell by Chris O'Dell, Harrison looked straight into the drummer's eyes and declared, "You know, Ringo, I'm in love with your wife." This blatant declaration instantly froze the atmosphere, marking a fatal, unhealed wound in the friendship of more than a decade between the two music stars. Ringo completely collapsed before the confession from his soul brother. The pinnacle of betrayal was exposed when Patty Boyd, Harrison's wife, directly caught George and Maureen locking the door inside a bedroom at the private mansion Friar Park, completely ending all denials. The exposure of this misconduct created a fierce media earthquake, permanently fracturing the beautiful image that the four-member group had painstakingly built. News of the incident reached the other Beatles, causing intense outrage, especially from John Lennon regarding this decadent behavior. In recorded documents, Lennon was extremely furious and called this scandalous internal affair an act of spiritual incest that destroyed the foundation of the band. The scandal not only tore apart the relationship between the two men, but also accelerated the collapse of both marriages, which had already stood on the brink for years. During the process of resolving legal disputes, investigative details revealed that both Ringo and Maureen had engaged in numerous extramarital relationships before the matter was exposed. The lack of fidelity from both sides, coupled with heavy pressure from public opinion, made all reconciliation efforts impossible. After months of intense negotiations regarding child custody and the division of the massive fortune, the divorce proceedings were officially completed in 1975, ending 10 years of turbulent life together. Even though he experienced a bitter shock of betrayal, Ringo still maintained a civilized friendship with his ex-wife to care for their children together. This bond lasted until 1994, when Maureen Cox unfortunately contracted a cruel leukemia. At that fateful moment, the former drummer stayed by the hospital bed, tightly holding his ex-wife's hand until she drew her last breath, completely closing a tragic chapter of life. Stepping out of his first deeply scarred marriage, Ringo rushed into fleeting romances as a way to escape reality. But destiny only truly changed when his eyes met a Bond girl on a movie set in 1980. Ringo Starr officially participated in a film project titled Caveman. This artistic turning point opened a fateful chapter that altered the entire subsequent life of the former Beatle. Right on this film set, he met Barbara Bach, an American actress at the pinnacle of fame. She had just made a major global splash with her role as Bond girl Anya Amasova in the hit blockbuster The Spy Who Loved Me. The charm of the Hollywood star immediately caused Ringo to fall into a state of wild infatuation. Before meeting Barbara, Ringo was maintaining a deep romantic relationship and had entered into an official engagement with the famous model Nancy Lee Andrews. The couple had made specific plans for a grand wedding. Nonetheless, after just one night of meeting Barbara Bach, the drummer made a decision that shocked public opinion when he abruptly canceled the entire engagement with his fiancée. Nancy Lee Andrews filed a lawsuit demanding financial compensation for substantial emotional damages. The prolonged litigation caused significant damage to the musician's image. Even so, Ringo defied all legal pressures and public condemnation to continue protecting his new love. The love at first sight quickly bore fruit with a wedding in April 1981. The solemn wedding was held in London, attracting special attention from the media. This event marked a meaningful milestone with the congratulatory appearance of Paul McCartney and George Harrison. Their presence proved that the deep animosities of the past had been cast aside. Nevertheless, after the brilliant glamour of the wedding day, the marriage soon entered a dark trajectory. Two souls bearing deep emotional wounds found each other, but chose a mistaken way to bond. Instead of acting as a pillar to move forward together, the couple dragged each other down a slippery slope into the mire of downfall. They quickly became in tune regarding the abuse of heavy stimulants and strong liquor daily. To serve their continuous days of addiction, the husband and wife turned their luxurious mansion into a completely isolated fortress. They severed all connections with relatives, friends, colleagues, and the outside media. Time magazine once described the couple's self-destructive lifestyle with a haunting observation. They're like a pack of vampires afraid of sunlight, always keeping the curtains tightly drawn. During this period, Ringo's music career was completely frozen. Barbara also gave up all highly priced acting opportunities to stay home with her husband. This toxic combination pushed the two world-leading stars into a prolonged life and death crisis. Entering 1988, the isolated life of Ringo and Barbara in their luxurious mansion officially hit the absolute rock bottom of self-destruction. Medical records show that during this period, the male drummer could consume up to 16 bottles of wine every day. This was a horrifying number for the biological endurance of a normal human body. Worse still, continuous drinking combined with heavy stimulants kept the nervous systems of both individuals in a state of intense paranoia. The pinnacle of these dark days occurred on a fateful night in 1988, leading to the worst incident of his life. In a shocking interview in 1995, the former Beatle bravely went public with this truth. During that horrific night, due to a stimulant overdose, Ringo fell into a state of complete loss of sanity. The sudden outburst of madness left him unable to recognize the surrounding reality. The legendary drummer unconsciously committed acts of brutal violence against his wife. The uncontrolled beating lasted for hours, right in the middle of the couple's locked bedroom at their private mansion. The next morning, as the toxins in his body began to dissipate, Ringo woke up in shock amidst a scene of devastation. All the expensive furniture in the room was smashed to pieces. Right next to him, former Bond girl Barbara Bach lay unconscious on the floor, her body covered in injuries and blood stains. In that 1995 interview, he choked back tears as he recounted, "I beat Barbara so badly that I thought she was dead. She lay there covered in blood, and I had no memory whatsoever of what I had done." The veteran drummer continued, "The fear at that moment was terrifying because I realized I had almost killed the woman I loved the most." This very ultimate fear of almost becoming a murderer became the wake-up call for Richard Starkey's sanity. Watching his wife return from the brink of death, he understood that this lifestyle had to end to protect the lives of both. Aware that their lives were under serious threat, the couple decided to make a historic choice. They proactively sought help from leading medical experts to carry out a thorough bodily detoxification. The decisive turning point occurred in October 1988 when the husband and wife quietly packed their bags to leave London. They secretly flew to the United States to enroll in a prestigious rehabilitation center located in Tucson, Arizona. To avoid the pursuit of paparazzi and ensure absolute confidentiality, the drummer did not use his famous stage name. He registered under his legal birth name, Richard Starkey. Throughout the course of receiving treatment, the couple had to undergo 4 weeks of extremely strict and harsh therapy. The withdrawal process required both to confront intense physical and mental agony. With a close accompaniment of specialized doctors, Ringo and Barbara resiliently overcame the life and death ordeal. Together, they made a sacred commitment to completely give up stimulants and strong liquor forever. As early as 1989, after completing intensive treatment, the couple proactively distanced themselves from the lavish partying environment in London to build a more private and healthier living space in the United States. From that historic milestone until now, Ringo Starr and his wife have never touched another drop of alcohol or any stimulant, establishing a remarkable record of sobriety spanning nearly 4 decades. To protect the achievements of their strict rehabilitation, the couple executed a radical lifestyle revolution by switching entirely to a strictly vegetarian diet and maintaining a regular daily exercise schedule. This positive change has helped the male artist maintain good physical health to conduct global tours with the all-star band from the 1990s until quite recently. His radiant and healthy appearance at 85 directly shatters all false rumors regarding his declining health in old age. Ringo Starr's confession at the age of 85 is not merely an ordinary love story, but also a testament to forgiveness and the great power of awakening. Behind the glittering glamour of the Beatles lay a fierce life and death battle that the male drummer luckily won thanks to having his life partner by his side. The sobriety following that 4-week treatment in Arizona officially salvaged the marriage of the two stars. In an era where musicians like Liam Payne tragically lost their battles with addiction, Ringo and Barbara's story stands as a beacon of hope, proof that even the darkest nights can lead to dawn if you have the right person holding your hand. What do you think about this miraculous rebirth journey of the legend Ringo Starr and former Bond girl Barbara Bach? Please leave your thoughts in the comments section. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel today so you do not miss the next unique investigative reports and music news.